CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a new public health report out today on the local opioid epidemic. Deaths and emergency room visits are down for a third straight year. However, as Brian Bicknell reports, the message from local health leaders is far from complacent.
We need to continue to have access to consumption and treatment facilities where we can keep people alive. At the end of the day, in the absence of those services, they will die.
The medical officer of health offering up a sobering prognosis on the opioid crisis. While positive trends are emerging, the latest figures show there continues to be an uphill battle. According to the Public Health Opioid Report, local emergency department visits related to opioids were down more than 55% in 2024 from their peak during the pandemic in 2021. Meantime, there were 72 opioid-related deaths, representing 12.1 per 100,000 people, a 51% decrease from the peak in 2021.
It is remarkable what we have accomplished given the resources that we have.
The health unit was joined by others on the front lines of the opioid crisis, calling for more provincial and federal funding for preventative health interventions and surveillance initiatives.
So to keep this momentum going, I'd offer that we need sustained provincial support for evidence-based addictions care.
We've essentially seized enough fentanyl to wipe out the majority of this community.
London's police chief also on hand to provide an update on the open-air substance use strategy. Tai Trong says LPS is on track for a record year in fentanyl seizures, impacting organized crime.
The seizures that our people have received and have stopped from hitting the streets, these are deaths that are prevented.
A police chief also using this opportunity, making a strong pitch to keep the police budget intact. Recently, the Police Services Board voted to shave $1.5 million off the 2026 LPS budget of $195 million.
I can't have every single year a reduction in the police budget because something's got to give. And we're trying to really meet the needs of this community.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
The provincial government passed its controversial education bill today, now set for royal assent tomorrow. The legislation has garnered plenty of criticism from advocates who say it will silence student, staff, and parent voices. Siobhan Morris reports.
I declare the motion carried.
Cheers and jeers as Bill 33 passes its last legislative hurdle. The process controversial because it skipped committee hearings, but the bill's content has sparked anger too.
Bill 33 is all about putting school boards back on track that fall off the rails.
The education minister can now more easily take over a school board, even if it isn't in financial trouble. A step he's considering with the Near North District School Board.
You have students who are being taught in a half-demolished high school because of decisions of a board. And anybody who suggests that the Minister of Education should allow that mess to continue is wrong.
Boards will have to take on school resource officers if their local police service has a program. Paul Calandra says that's about building relationships, not policing kids.
The workers united will never be defeated.
A crush of education workers piled onto the steps of Queen's Park. They've seen decision-making move behind closed doors at boards already under supervision.
And the fact that Calandra wants to make it even easier to take over it is really scary.
There is an openness to more accountability for bad actors.
Maybe take those trustees out, but I don't think it's a one puzzle piece fits all. You take them all out and that's the solution.
But they argue that's not what really matters in this fight.
This is a distraction from the chronic underfunding.
An equation educators say has left their schools broken.
I have to bring in tissue from home so that the runny noses can be wiped off. I have to deal with kids that are biting, pushing, and kicking me.
The opposition leader says she doesn't trust the government to fix that.
They have created this mess, and I think right now what they should be focused on is how to properly fund our schools.
With not enough adults in schools.
Class sizes are too big. Special education's been starved by this government, and we have a mental health crisis.
The Minister of Education is still considering eliminating trustees entirely.
They're laying the groundwork for it, and that's to the detriment of parents and students.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Meanwhile, the official opposition leader was kicked out of the legislature today for calling the government corrupt. She was raising questions over the Skills Development Fund and whether organizations that got government grants used that money to boost executive salaries. John Woodward reports.
The semi-detached home in Aurora, Ontario, the listed address of a numbered company that got nearly $10 million in Skills Development Fund grants. The director, Eugenia Andonov, not home on Wednesday. The company has previously said it partnered with an agency that would later go on to start an adult entertainment club in the horticultural building on Toronto's exhibition grounds, though denied government money went there. Filings show the numbered company paid Andonov a salary of $100,000 in 2022. That's when it got about $250,000 in grants. In 2024, when the grant had risen to just under $3.5 million, Andonov's declared salary rose to just under $125,000, a two-year rise of about 24%, far above inflation, says the Canadian Taxpayers Federation.
The average Ontarian is not getting a 24% pay bump over the course of 2 years.
Combing through the data, we found at least a dozen other examples of executive pay shooting up as these grants come in, from tech incubators to advocacy groups to unions. Those agencies we reached said the money for the raises came from other revenue. Critics not so sure.
The government needs to conduct a full investigation.
It's been 7 weeks since Ontario's Auditor General found political staff overruled bureaucrats to give hundreds of millions to low-scoring grant applications. For most of that time, Ontario's opposition has been calling for Labour Minister David Piccini to step down.
It is the strip clubs and the numbered companies. It is the endless grift of a anti-democratic and, yes, corrupt government.
Calling a government corrupt is against legislature rules.
I will ask the member to withdraw.
Speaker, I will not.
NDP leader Marit Stiles escorted from the chamber as her caucus stood cheering. Premier Ford has said he stands by Piccini. The Ontario government sent an audit of one grant recipient, Keel Digital Solutions, to the OPP. That company demanded the audit be made public, alleging it's just being scapegoated for all the other issues of the fund. John Woodward, CTV News.
A 30-year-old man has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for the stabbing death of his own father. Nick Paparella has more on the circumstances leading to the attack and the factors behind the punishment.
Normally used as an educational center for kids, in May of last year, Circle R Ranch on Carriage Road, west of London, was the scene of a murder investigation involving a son and his dead father. A London courtroom heard that Barry Iwanation was stabbed 14 times while trying to prevent his son from harming himself. Charged with second-degree murder, his 30-year-old son Nicholas Russell Iwanation pled guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter. With the accused sobbing in the prisoner's box, Crown Attorney Ryan Lafleur told the court his father's life was taken in a senseless way. Barry Iwanation was trying to help his son, who has mental health issues, struggling with depression, and was high on cannabis just hours after Nicholas's grandmother passed away. The court heard Barry's life was taken in a violent and shocking manner as he was trying to console his son. He continued he committed a violent act while in a drug-induced psychosis state. The court heard Russell Iwanation fled the scene after the attack and was eventually tracked down by police with no clothes on and asking officers to shoot him. In a joint sentencing submission, both the Crown and the defense asked that he serve 5 years in prison with credit for time already served. After reading 34 letters of support from the Russell Iwanation family, Justice Elisa Mitchell agreed with the 5-year sentence, saying Mr. Russell Iwanation loved his father. He did not intend to cause the death of his father. She concluded by saying a life without his father is a life sentence for Mr. Russell Iwanation. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Provincial government officials say they're considering imposing child support payments on drunk drivers who kill parents. It's similar to legislation enacted in Texas. Beth McDonnell has more on its potential here in Ontario.
Morning, sir. How you doing?
In Ontario in 2021, 182 people died because of impaired driving. And today, it's still the leading cause of death on the province's roads.
The victims, quite frankly, the children who are left behind, can be more protected.
The Ford government is working on new measures that would require impaired drivers to pay child support if a child's parent or guardian is killed.
We're going to talk to the justice partners, talk to the federal government, talk to other jurisdictions, and we're going to find what's going to work best, and then we will take action on it.
The government says it's looking for ways to ease the burden from impaired driving tragedies and provide financial stability for children left behind.
If they can get it into law that this is an automatic thing if you're convicted for impaired driving causing death, then there's not a whole process to go through. That just becomes part of the penalty. So I don't see any negatives to it.
In 2023, the government says Texas introduced a requirement when impaired drivers kill a parent or guardian and are convicted of intoxication manslaughter, they must pay child support until the minor turns 18 or graduates high school. The leader of the opposition says the province needs to look at every tool available and will look at the proposal. But
honestly, this government's been in power for 8 years now, and they don't seem to have made much effort in that direction, unfortunately. I don't think, for example, that deciding to put booze in gas stations is probably the right approach to curbing drinking and driving.
We're seeing way too frequently individuals who are causing carnage in Ontario, and we're seeing children, we see reporters report on it. And it's a tragedy, and it's something that we can do something about.
The plan is to examine the Texas example and others in the hopes of making impaired drivers more accountable. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
London City Councillor Susan Stevenson says she has stopped attending committee meetings in person because of a culture of silence at City Hall. She says she's been experiencing ongoing disrespect and harassment. With more on those claims, here's Daryl Newcomb.
I'm looking for my colleagues' support, quite frankly, to ensure that I do have a safe space.
On Tuesday, Councillor Susan Stevenson revealed that she's been attending committee meetings remotely because of what she calls disrespect and harassment, only deciding to speak out publicly when debate turned to a province-wide campaign about respect and civility in municipal government.
The mayor and Councillor Hopkins brought forward a motion asking us all to take a pledge in terms of respect that hasn't been the way things have been here for the last couple of years.
Stevenson did attend the public meeting about the 2026 budget in person, but sat on the opposite side of council chambers, leaving her usual seat empty. This is how she describes the harassment and disrespect that she's experienced.
Comments and sort of chanting coming while I'm trying to speak. It's my turn to speak at the mic. I'm talking about comments on social media that call into question my ethics. And I'm talking about the sort of shaming type comments that, again, question my character.
Stevenson is choosing not to identify those involved, but says she has previously reached out to 2 members of council about their behavior and then subsequently contacted the mayor. Stevenson claims only one of the 2 councillors responded.
There's this culture of silence, it seems, here, where we don't talk about anything that's wrong, right? We don't talk about, we just don't talk about anything that makes us look bad.
Stevenson herself has been the subject of 2 Integrity Commissioner findings. One that her persistent questioning crossed the line into bullying a deputy city manager, a finding she still disputes. She was also found to have violated the code of conduct with a social media post that included a picture of an identifiable homeless man, along with references to graffiti and criminality. Stevenson has not followed advice to contact the Integrity Commissioner, citing the cost to the taxpayer for a situation she believes she can manage herself. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A local high school basketball team will compete at OFSA, qualifying with just a roster of 6 players. As Brent Lale reports, they're recruiting some reinforcements for provincials, and they like their odds.
It's a Cinderella story out of St. Thomas.
We were calling them 6 strong.
The St. Joe's Rams, with 1 grade 12, 1 grade 11, and 4 grade 10s, are headed to OFSA.
We're not going there just for the experience. We're going there to win some games.
We've been battling with injuries. We've lost some key players, but I feel like we're pretty close as a team and we just kind of round around each other.
The Rams destroyed their competition in the playoffs and at Wausau. They are young, but talented.
Every one of the juniors that we have here is like hardworking and they earn their spot on the team. And it's an interesting dynamic having our team captain also be a grade 11. So we're just a young team and it's an awesome experience to bring up all these new players to have the experience of offset.
It's not step by step all the time. It always changes.
To add some depth at provincials, they've brought along 4 more juniors for the ride.
It's going to be great, yeah, instead of just one sub, it'll be great.
This school has a long history of winning provincial championships, dominating for the span of a decade. But it's been 30 years since they brought home gold. This is their first appearance at the dance since 2011.
The 4 seed was a bit of a surprise to me, but the teams we played in tournaments were challenging for us. I think that was part of the reason we probably ended up being seeded 4th, is just because of the competition we've had this season.
The 4 seed has boosted their confidence, and it's given them a belief that the small but mighty group can repeat with those their parents' age did before them.
Go there to medal, let's win this thing.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Still ahead, the gift of life. LHSC marking 50 years of life-saving transplants and the people they've helped survive. Markets on both sides of the border rebounded today. In Toronto, the TSX gained almost 250 points. In New York, the Dow gained 47, the Nasdaq up 131. The Canadian dollar was down about 1/5 of a cent. On commodities, gold climbed about $16 an ounce. Oil dropped $1.42 a barrel. The RCMP were part of a media briefing today in Washington alongside the FBI and the U.S. Justice Department. They're looking for Ryan Wedding, a former Canadian Olympian, now on the FBI's most wanted list. With more on the new charges and the search, here's Mike Lucatour.
The reward for Wedding's arrest has been upped to $15 million American, a significant amount for someone that law enforcement says is a major drug kingpin.
Ryan Wedding is a modern-day iteration of Pablo Escobar.
Law enforcement in Canada and the U.S. are calling the former Canadian Olympic snowboarder the leader of a transnational criminal enterprise. In addition to reportedly shipping truckloads of cocaine across North America, the FBI and U.S. Justice Department are now charging Ryan Wedding with 2 additional counts of witness tampering, intimidation, and money laundering.
Wedding is also accused of murdering a federal witness after he was indicted in 2024.
U.S. officials allege Wedding used semi-trucks to import 60 tons of cocaine annually into the U.S. That amount of drugs is the same weight as 40 standard cars.
Ryan Wedding is extremely dangerous. He's extremely violent, and he's extremely wealthy. He's being protected by the Sinaloa cartel, along with others in the country of Mexico.
American law enforcement has been working with the RCMP because of his links to Canada and his alleged connection to 4 murders in Ontario. It's believed his vast network includes a former Mexican law enforcement officer and money launderers from Italy and the UK.
Fugitive Ryan Wedding remains one of the top threats to Canadian public safety, and as per the previous indictment, continues to run an over $1 billion a year criminal enterprise.
While increasing the reward for his arrest to $15 million, U.S. law enforcement is asking for the public's help to find Wedding.
Please understand that he might change his hair color, his appearance, and do anything to avoid capture, but someone like Ryan Wedding is going to stick out in Mexico.
With today's indictment, U.S. law enforcement says approximately 36 people have been indicted, and they warn Ryan Wedding that his days are numbered. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. A few clouds as we head into the night. Our temperature, it's going to drop below the freezing mark, and with the winds out of the north, that means our wind chill will be quite chilly early Thursday morning. We are tracking the next weather maker. It's a weak low pressure system that will swing on through Friday, and that means a little bit of rainfall heading our way. I'll break down the next 24 to 48 hours coming up after the break.
Welcome back on the desk with Rita Ismail now. And Rita, some lovely sunshine today, a nice break as we just felt like endless overcast skies for the last little bit.
Absolutely. You know, it was not your typical November weather today, right? It was sunny and comfortable, fresh air as well. Our high, though, it struggled at only 4 degrees for today. And we're supposed to be at about 6, so not too far off. The record was in 1985, 19 degrees, record low, -18 in 1951. Now, as we head into the night, our temperature is going to drop below the freezing mark. We have some clearing conditions before cloud cover returns tomorrow afternoon. And for us, clear skies at nighttime, of course, mean cool down, and the winds will be out of the north, so our wind chill factor will play a role for your morning tomorrow, feeling close to about -7. So cloud cover moves in tomorrow morning in advance of an upper level trough that we're tracking Thursday afternoon. So if you're up between 6 and 8 a.m., you'll see the sunshine. If not, it'll be cloud cover for most of your Thursday. And then there's that system swinging through early Friday morning. It's not packing a lot of rainfall. Throughout Grey and Bruce County, you'll pick up a little bit of passing showers. For us here in London, probability is there before 9, and then we break into sunshine Friday afternoon. It looks to be the start of a beautiful, bright weekend, Friday into Saturday and Sunday. But our temperature tonight, again, that's the story. It will be quite chilly, but that's perfect. This is a photo of Bowler Mountain. With these cold overnight lows, they're actually able to start making snow. So for all those outdoor sport enthusiasts, they are busy working at making snow over at Bowler. Let's plan out your Thursday. So again, early in the morning, the sun will be there, -2, feeling like -7. And then heading into the afternoon, we'll climb to 6 under mostly cloudy skies, light and variable winds throughout the afternoon. Friday, that rainfall icon is for your Friday overnight. So early in the morning, we'll see a passing shower or two, and then by about 9, 10 a.m., we'll start to see a bit of sunshine move through, and then nice conditions for the weekend. Now, our temperature Friday, mild at 9 degrees, and then dropping to 5 on Saturday, and climbing right back up on Sunday with all that daytime heating under that sunshine. We'll hit an above seasonal 8 degrees, but to get there, -6. So a bit of a roller coaster in terms of our temperatures, going from the below freezing to 8 degrees on Sunday, but we'll take it. And then the chance for rainfall returns early next week, late day Monday rain into Tuesday. Midwestern Ontario, lots of cloud cover for your Thursday, 6 degrees, right around seasonal. Cold overnight tonight as well. And then that rain, you'll get a little bit more Friday. But again, by the afternoon, we should start to see that sun peek through. The temperature on Saturday, cooler of the two this weekend at 4 degrees. Sunday, 6, and lots of sunshine. This looks to be a great November weekend with plenty of blue skies. And then Monday, mix of sun and cloud. The temperature will hold at about 6 degrees both Monday and Tuesday. Carlyle?
Thanks very much, Rita. Officials at London Health Sciences Centre celebrated 50 years of the hospital's multi-organ transplant program today. As Sean Irvin reports, in the decades since its creation, there have been thousands of success stories.
On this day, Marianne Crossett gives loving care to her sister, Margaret Reardon, as she battles Alzheimer's disease. But 50 years ago, it was Margaret who gave Marianne the gift of life. These sisters were among the first to benefit from the multi-organ transplant program at LHSC, which today marks 50 years.
I'm so grateful to have had my sister. She's been so special and still is.
There are thousands of success stories in the decades since that transplant. Some are in this room. More than 1/3 of transplants at LHSC are made possible thanks to living donors. Past recipients, current and retired doctors, nurses, and program staff all came together to thank those who gave a piece of themselves to save a loved one, friend, acquaintance, or stranger.
Could I do it? And you know what? Some days yes, some days no, and it's incredible, and I'm in awe of you.
And 50 years on, that appreciation continues between two sisters.
It was hard on her. But she was never sorry she did it. She never regretted. She said, I would do it again, Marianne. I'd do it 100 times.
A message Marianne hopes other potential donors will hear. After all, giving the gift of life is now made with less risk and fewer scars than it was a half-century ago. New and future innovations also hold promise.
At some point, we will be able to eliminate some forms of kidney disease. There's no doubt. I have said this for many years, that I firmly believe that at some point we won't need to rely on kidneys from either living donors or deceased.
But until then, donors are very much needed to give the ultimate gift to grateful recipients.
I feel very lucky, fortunate, whatever word you want to use, and I intend to live to 100.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Finally tonight, one community's commitment to the nativity scene. Thousands are on display in Walkerton right now, coming from all over the world. Scott Miller reports.
The annual Thousands of Nativities tour has returned to Walkerton. Nativity scenes from around Grey and Bruce County and from as far away as England and California now grace the rooms of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Walkerton.
Well, I like the displays, and they remind me too of Europe too. You know, it's kind of a total Christmassy feeling what everybody should get, if possible.
Nearly 3,000 nativities are on display. Many are made of typical materials like ceramics or wood, but some are incredibly unique, like one made in Israel from olive wood, or another made from bronze nuts and bolts, or another made from intricately spliced paper. From kitschy to elegant, the Thousands of Nativities tour has almost every kind of nativity you can think of.
It seems every year it's more people involved in it because everybody likes it.
Lorch herself donated a nativity to be displayed for the rest of this month. Organizers say some people drop off their only family nativity to be displayed, while others share their entire collection of more than 150 nativities.
Oh, I do that for years for our children already, and my husband even made different little pieces to it. So yeah, it's just part of Christmas.
More than 300 churches across Ontario have helped source nativity scenes for this epic display. Tours start November 20th and last until the 30th at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Walkerton.
I think it gives a lot of peace to people who don't know where to find it anymore.
In Walkerton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.